Welcome, everyone. Welcome. This is one of the many Zoom Q&As that we are doing to support the virtual 2021 New Jersey International Film Festival. We are in our 26th year, and hopefully this will be the last festival that we have to do virtually. Although I think in the future, we will do a hybrid festival because we have opened up our festival to a new audience and we get viewers from around the world. So we've actually uncovered a new source of patrons for our festival. So we'll probably do a combination of those things. We look forward to going live, hopefully in the fall, for our New Jersey Film Festival. But today we're here to talk about the really important short documentary film called Stolen Fish. And this is a film that was made by a number of very talented people. And I always pronounce Gosia's last name incorrectly. It's a very beautiful Polish name. So Emilia Pluskota, who's here, she's a producer and a researcher on the film. She's going to be talking about, Gosia's last name is pronounced how, Emilia?
Juszczak. It's Juszczak.
Oh gosh, I would have definitely butchered it. Sorry, Gosia.
Yeah, it's quite difficult.
It's not easy, not easy. But we also have Justin Almodovar here, who's a New Jersey Film Festival juror, and he's going to be asking questions along with myself of Emilia about her movie. Before we jump into the Q&A, if you would like to buy tickets to any of our screenings, which will be taking place between June 4th and June 13th, there's 11 programs, or 9 programs, and then there's 2 other programs that will take place after the competition part of the festival is over in June. You can go to our website, which is njfilmfest.com. It's located right behind me over here, so you can get the address. And then when you get to our homepage, I will show you how to do that at the end of our Q&A, and you can see how to get access to our lineup, our virtual lineup. But Emilia, tell us, how did you get involved in making this very important documentary?
Yeah, actually, it was quite crazy because we didn't know each other with Gosia, director of the movie, before we started filming. In general, I'm an anthropologist, so...
Uh-oh. Hopefully we get you back. I think we might have lost Emilia. Okay. Everything froze on me. Justin, are you there too? Uh-oh. I think we have frozen. Can you guys hear me? This is not good.
Hear you, I don't...
It's me and you.
Okay, I want to say I'm sorry. There was my Wi-Fi just cut out. We're in the middle.
Okay.
We're in the middle of a storm here in New Jersey. And,
oh God.
And I woke up and my clock was flashing. And so
wow.
we had lost power over the evening and my computer had rebooted. So I'm sorry about that. I think that was...
Yeah, that's okay.
But I'm glad that I have you back. So please tell us again how you got involved in making the film Stolen Fish.
Yeah, I was saying that it was kind of crazy story because we didn't know each other with Gosia before starting our project together. And we just had the friend in common who saw Gosia post on Facebook about her project, that she's looking for someone who's been in the Gambia before. And that's how we matched. We started to talk through WhatsApp because that time I've been in Poland and then I was living in Jordan and Gosia was in Spain. So yeah, first month it was only by online talking, and then we actually met the first time at Spanish airport in Madrid. So
that's crazy. So tell our viewers a little bit about the film itself.
Yeah, so the film is telling about the story about the Chinese fishmeal factories that they are now around the Gambia, and they are actually everywhere on the West African coast. So I'm an anthropologist, and before I was doing a research about migration from West Africa to Europe and about, in general, some problems, economical problems in the Gambia, and I was living in the Gambia for a while. So Gosia, she met a lot of Gambian immigrants in Madrid, so that's how she knew about the problem about the Chinese fishmeal factories. So I guess our documentary story, actually the story is told by the Gambians. We didn't tell for them. They told their stories by themselves. And that's why I feel that the movie is so important and special, because we can hear like living stories and living people and feel their emotions about how they feel about those factories, because they are changing their life, their culture. They are they are making a huge problem in general in the Gambia, ecological, economical. So the Gambians want to migrate to Europe even more than before, and that's actually the main subject of the movie.
The Gambia is one of the poorest countries in Africa, for sure, correct?
Yeah, one of the smallest either.
One of the smallest, too. Justin, go ahead. Your turn to ask some questions.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, so I think it's really evident that their struggles are, I think that the struggles are evident in this film, but I'm wondering, there's a clear language barrier between the people and the filmmakers. So how did you guys get around that? And how did you get information?
That's a bit challenging always, especially if you want to make something that's intimate, you know, and you need to make those people trust you, and it works both ways. So yeah, it's difficult, but most of the young Gambian people, they can speak English because it's English colony. So they have English at schools, and actually it's very sad because they don't learn their local languages like Mandinka or Wolof at schools. They learn just English. So most of the young ones, they can speak English. In the movie, we can hear many local languages because it was much easier for them to talk about this big issue in their own language, like natural. It was more natural for them. So obviously we had some translators on the set, which were Gambians. We had like a huge problem with one of the languages because we thought that we have a translator for that language. It was language Majang, and it turned out that it's such a small ethnic group that there's like so few of them in the Gambia. So it was quite challenging to translate like the conversations in that language. Yeah, but we really wanted to make it more, I don't know, real, because it's always better to speak about important stuff in your own language.
So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Justin, go ahead.
That's okay. I was just gonna say, you did that with Mariama. She was allowed to speak in her language the whole time. And she did talk about also the like struggles that she went through. And one of the ones that I found interesting was the smoking process. And she was talking about the infections that she would get. Do you have any more information about that? Like what sort of impact, like, you know, what is that process like and what can happen?
Yeah, so first of all, I will tell you that it was such an interesting moment with Mariama because we just decided, we made some made of like an interview with her, but also we decided to spend like a few days with her all the time and just film her, and then we will see what will happen. And what she, like after we filmed, we heard what she was saying. And just a few days later, it turned out that she said in front of the camera such an important stuff that we didn't even ask for. We've been just filming and we had no idea what she was talking about. So yeah, it was great that it turned out that it was like some of the most important informations for our movie there on the beach in that scene. But about the whole process, we heard from many women around the coast that yeah, they can vomit, they are dizzy because of the smoke, because of the factories. And there are just so many chemicals, you know, and some research shows that there's even arsenic in the water around the factories. So it's like a huge problem. So actually we are not surprised that it has such a big impact on the health. We don't know yet what's the impact in the future, you know, like for long-term work in this environment. But even for us, when factory was operating, it wasn't a pleasure to be around, you know, because you can feel the smell and it smells really bad. And for me, I was also dizzy, you know, at some moments because of the air around the factory. So, and because of the because of that women, they are mostly working around the factories because they are cleaning the fish, they are selling the fish to the ladies at the market in the village. So they are like a big deal in this long chain from the sea, and then fishermen, and they are the ladies, the buyers, the cleaning ladies, the sellers. So they take a huge part in this chain of selling fish.
So the film itself, the focus is in Stolen Fish is to point out that the Chinese companies have come and they pretty much sweep up all the fish that are in this channel, I guess, since the Gambia is sandwiched in between Senegal.
Yeah.
And so that it's a very narrow country, and most of the source of their fish comes from this inlet. And the Chinese will come with trawlers and will literally vacuum up with nets all of the fish, and leave very few fish for the local population. And then in turn, they will capture turtles, dolphins, other creatures in this netting process, which is very unenvironmentally sound. And also they will take for every 5 pounds of fish, I remember hearing in your documentary, that they will make for 5 kilograms of fish, it's 1 kilogram of fish meal that they will only use for feeding farm animals or industrially harvested animals in their farms.
Also fish, that's the most weird thing, that they are taking the fish meal to feed fish, for example, in China, like salmon. This is crazy, you know?
Yeah, and it seems as a result of that, the people that live in the country are looking for a back way, which is the term that they use, to get out of this country, because there's no kind of future for the young people, and that's where the migration to Europe has been accelerated as a result of that. So it's a vicious chain of events that take place. So there are 3 people that you focus on, and we talked about Mariama, who's the middle one. The other 2 are Abou and Paul. How did you end up selecting these 3? Were there the connections that Gosia had in Madrid with Abou? I think I made that connection.
Yeah, actually, that's a funny story either, like funny, not funny, but it was quite a coincidence, because Gosia's neighbor in Madrid is Abou's brother. And it turned out that I know Abou in the Gambia, because I was living a few months in the neighborhood that he was in always. So I didn't know him very well, but I could say that, oh, that guy, I can know his family, I know where he's from. And at the airport, when we met for the first time with Gosia, she said, yeah, my neighbor asked me to find his brother because I have some gift for him. I want to say hi. And then I asked her, like, which city, what's his name? And yeah, it turned out that I know Abou, and we didn't think that he will be a protagonist in our movie, but it turned out that he's so emotional and he has such a huge knowledge about the thing. And also because of those previous connections, we felt very close really fast. So it was also easier for us to communicate. And about the other people in our movie, actually we record around like 30 hours of interviews in general. So it's like a huge amount of talking and people. So we had to choose, and it wasn't easy because we had like scientists, some politicians, activists, many people who were saying such an interesting things about the subject. But I think now with those 3, we have like 3 different stories for different groups of people. And because of them, the story becomes more clear, you know, how it works for a woman, for a young man, which was Paul, and he already tried to migrate to Europe, and his story is very sad. And now he's back in the Gambia, and the situation is not even better than before he was trying to migrate. And we have Abou, the young fisherman, who is wondering if he wants to go or he doesn't, because the decision about migration is never easy, you know. They actually, even for us, like we like to travel like Europeans or people from the West, you know, we like to travel, we like to go somewhere to study, for work, but it's not life-changing decision. It's temporary, but for them it's one-way ticket for most of the people. So yeah, so Abou is very important because he was wondering, like fighting with himself, like I really think I have to go, but I don't really want to because I have family over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we chose them.
Great. Justin, we're winding down, so last question for you, Justin. That's okay, no worries. I guess what I wanted to also point out is that the sequence where the cinematographer is in the boat filming the fishermen going out to do their daily chore.
Yeah.
How difficult was that? I wrote down the name of the cinematographer, Philippe Drost. Thank you for the help.
Yeah, also difficult name.
Was he the only one from your team in the boat when they actually went out to
all of us were there.
Right.
And the boat was so small, and yeah, I think it was one of the most difficult days of shooting because it was like almost 40 degrees heat, and our journey on the boat took around 8 hours. So it was like the whole day without, like there's just African sun and water around, and it's so dizzy for me. Actually, I'm when I see this part of the movie, I always laugh at myself because I know that I am laying down somewhere between their legs, because I was feeling so bad the whole day. I was just waiting, let me go back to the coast. But yeah, there was no way to go back because we just said, okay, we are going with you for work. So
did you guys go in a separate boat to follow?
No, it was the same boat.
Wow.
It was the same boat. Our crew we've been just sitting in the middle, so you can say the front and the back of the boat, but all of us, we are just sitting in the middle. So yeah, for Philip, I guess it was also really challenging.
I thought that was one of my favorite sequences because you actually see what it's like for them to do what we do daily. I also thought
it was really real. So also the backstage was really there.
Adriana Castellanos does an excellent job editing the film too. I think she weaves together the narrative seamlessly from one character to the next. But
yeah, it's great, and it was a long process because, as I told you, we've had so much
footage.
Footage. So it was really hard to choose some parts of the footage. But actually, our first movie that we almost finished was so much different. We just changed our mind, last minute. It was like, okay, it's nice, but it has to be different. So we just chose so totally different footage, and that's how we created actual stolen fish. Before it looked so much different.
Yeah. Last chance for you, Mr. Justin.
It seems like you really covered the whole thing for me, so I'm good on this.
No, I think Justin wrote a very nice review of your film.
Thank you.
New Jersey Stage. So folks can go check that out on our Facebook page. It's posted there. But I wanted to show folks how they can buy tickets for this great film. So I'm going to share screen for 1 second. And then, oh, come on, here we go. So the way that this would work is that you would go to njfilmfest.com, just like what I pointed out to before, and you would come to this site, and this would be our homepage. That's what it would look like when you get to our home. Then you would click on where it says New Jersey International Film Festival on the side. And because we're virtual, normally everything would be here, but because we are virtual, we are using Eventive, which is a wonderful streaming service. We have used them for all of our festivals since the pandemic broke out, and we've had no technical issues. So when you get here, you just click on this red link, which is Watch Eventive, and it will bring you to our catalog page, which shows you all of the programs that we'll be offering between June 4th and June 13th on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. There's some multiple programs on both days. Like you can see, the short documentary films is also being, there's another documentary program that's offered that day. But to see Stolen Fish and get more information, you would click on Saturday, June 5th, right here for the short documentary program. And you would click down and you would see all the information where Emilia is listed as a producer, Gosia as the filmmaker, Philippe as the cinematographer, and then get basic information about the film. And then to order tickets, you would just click on the pre-order now. You could play a trailer. I think I have Gosia's introduction there. So that's how you could buy tickets for the film. The film is only each one of our individual programs is $12. And if you want to buy a festival pass, it's $75. It's a really great deal. We're showing 25 films that were selected from over 500 entries from around the world. So you're getting to see the best movies that were selected by a jury that were made up like people like Justin, myself, other academics, people who were previous winners at our festival, as well as other academics, media journalists. So there's like 25 people that are watching movies from around the world, and they picked the 25 films that we're actually screening. So I hope you can come and check out the documentary short program that we have, where you can see Stolen Fish, which is on June 5th. Films are available video on demand for 24 hours. That means that if you're where Emilia is in Warsaw, Poland, that I think the time difference is 7 hours or 8 hours from.
Yeah, it's actually 6 hours. Yeah.
6 hours. So if you are living in Warsaw and you wanted to watch this movie, you could start watching it the day before because there's a 6 hour time difference. For us, it would be Saturday, June 5th at 12 midnight, which would mean you could start watching it on Friday, June 4th, starting at 6 p.m.
Are you sure? I guess it's later here in Poland. It's +6 because for me it's already afternoon here.
Yeah, but for us it starts at midnight on June 5th, means that you are 6 hours earlier than us. So it will list, if you're in Warsaw, it will say June 4th, most likely. And you can start watching it at 6 o'clock Warsaw time, and you have 24 hours to finish watching the program. But let's say you don't want to start watching it right when it becomes available, you want to watch it later in the day, you can do that. Once you start watching, you still have 24 hours to finish watching it. So if you're watching it at 11:45 in the United States on the East Coast, you still can watch it into Sunday the next day.
That's great.
I want to thank you very much, Emilia Pluskota, producer of the wonderful documentary, very important documentary, Stolen Fish, for joining us for this Q&A. Thank you also to Justin Almodovar for participating as well. And look for this on YouTube. It'll be available very shortly. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.